Well, a lack of clarity and transparency is what an international air safety panel is about to call the FAA's approval process. Now, this is all over Boeing 737 MAX jets, which turned out to actually have serious flaws that amounted to the loss of dozens of lives. Now, the last came from Ethiopian airline crash. So, joining me to discuss in detail is Jamie Finch, former director of GAPAFA at NTSB. That's a long title right there. I can imagine putting that onto a business card. Jamie, thank you for joining us on this, because you sent me this story, and it's really interesting to me, because now we have this International Air Safety Regulators Group, international, coming in, criticizing the U.S. for approving the 737 MAX. Correct. Is this just about blaming the U.S., or do you actually believe this charge to be credible?
No, I think this is completely to be credible. I mean, it's not just a gotcha kind of situation. This is a ferreting out the problems that have existed for quite some time that need to be resolved. And unfortunately, in this situation, we've had 346 people who have lost their lives, possibly from the cause of, from the lack of oversight, proper oversight, I should say, by the FAA of Boeing and their certification process.
But Jamie, and I'm going to be devil's advocate possibly on this one. 3 accidents, 346 people's lives that you would hate to lose, all of them precious in so many ways. So this is not in any way undercutting that. But how many planes have been in service with 0 complications? How many people, 346 people, so that's 3 flights right there. That's enough that's just taken off here at Reagan since we've been on air. Do you think this is a continual pile on now? Is now, even from the international community, justified onto Boeing, considering how many things that they've done right?
Well, I mean, as I've said before, I mean, Boeing is an excellent company, and it has an excellent reputation as a flagship carrier for the United States as far as manufacturing companies. But the fact of the matter is they have become an 800-pound gorilla in this town, and they have become very pushy with their abilities and strength with what appears to be with the FAA also, in being able to push, bully and pressure them into certifying something that should not have been certified as quickly as it has, as it was. The entire process that we're seeing here, and one of the reasons why this is so critical, is, if you will recall, the FAA hesitated after the 2 crashes. The FAA was still hesitant to ground these planes after the entire all other countries in the world had grounded these planes, and it looks really suspicious that the FAA and Boeing from the same country are dragging their feet and not moving on this quickly enough.
And that is absolutely a realistic complaint that could happen. I also, though, want to look at these planes and the fact that you have this international group. Is there any liability that possibly could be involved with them now saying that the United States and the FAA should be held accountable for this? Is there any, and I have to say it, dollar signs attached, that they might actually go after the FAA from an international standpoint now that they think that they're also should be held liable for this?
Well, I'm not a trial attorney, but I will say that there's probably going to be evidence that will be used in court, probably from these studies and these findings, et cetera, from these groups. But as far as how that plays out in the court system, we'll see how that plays out. Also, I'm very curious to see what comes out of any NTSB participation in any investigation of these 2 crashes. NTSB is not going to be the lead agency because these are both in foreign countries, but they are going to be party to the investigation because the manufacturer was an American company for those 2. Well,
in closing, I can't let you go without asking, how do you think this is going to impact foreign companies, their future purchases of airplanes from Boeing or any other American any distributor?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I'm glad you asked that, because we're already seeing evidence of that being a problem with certain countries, and certain carriers are already starting to look at other options. Southwest has always been a loyal 737 carrier, exclusively flying 737s. Now they're not saying that they're going to buy other planes, but they are looking at their other options, according to sources. Also, you're seeing the same thing with China and some of the other countries. They're saying, you know, we're really kind of frustrated with the whole process, and quite honestly, to be fair, they have expressed frustration with Boeing, but they're also starting to express some frustration with Airbus, and I think that's going to play out more as we see China entering the commercial aviation market.
Well, Jamie, thank you for continuing to follow the story. You've literally from the beginning all the way, well, we're probably even far from the end.
We're going to
continue, but thank you for continuing to keep us abreast of what is going on.
You're very welcome.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.